West or something. Michael Antonovich, what's up, man?
What's going on, boys?
Dude, you've been busy covering some races.
Love it. Love it. I told you as soon as they let me out the cage, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. Well, life in St. Louis, like these are things that, maybe weren't open to you when you were based in SoCal, Anton.
No, and I think, there's a lot of perk to that. It was a 9-hour drive to Ohio, which was easy. 6 hours to Iowa, super easy there too. When you drive across the country multiple times a year, this is like driving down the street to the grocery store at this point.
Yeah, pretty much,
yeah,
right?
It was easy.
Yeah. SwapMotoLive.com, by the way, for more information on everything that Anton's doing. Check it out. I got a podcast with Don Maeda going up soon too. I did that when I was down in SoCal. I was also on Swap Moto Live video show. I don't know when that's coming out, Anton, but hopefully soon.
Was the podcast good? Was it good?
Yeah, we got into Ross, which is cool. Always good to talk about Ross.
Ross is so cool.
Right.
And I know Michael likes Ross too. Ross is so cool.
Is there a smarter guy in the industry than Ross Maeda? That's what I think I said in the podcast.
Or nicer.
Or nicer, right? Yeah.
Or nicer,
right.
Yeah. Ross remembers me for one thing and one thing only, and it's not that I'm like Donnie's little friend or his helper or anything like that. The first time I met Ross, I was riding a borrowed Honda 250 four-stroke at Star West, and I launched it way too far and then went into the fence. And Don and Ross were sitting there, and Ross just saw me go flying. He goes, hey, Donnie, your little intern kid just went parasailing into the fence. And so that's all Ross remembers me as now.
Right. That's it. Don said that Ross was telling him, like, hey, you know that guy that works at Yamaha? Don was like, yeah, I know him. Ross was like, he's pretty funny. I like him. That's my impression I made on Ross. I was funny. So. But hey, listen. So, Michael, you watched a little bit of Fight Club. I watched it. You guys watched it too over there. Tits did not apparently watch it, but
no, he watched it.
Oh, he did.
He just didn't think it was worth the $20.
Oh, okay.
And he got flamed on Vital.
I was gonna say Vital destroyed him.
I thought the Fight Club thing, dude, it was pulled off with like 2 weeks' notice. And these guys drove out there. I thought it was cool, Anton. I was all about it. Was it perfect? No. Did the cheesiness make me laugh sometimes? Yes. But you know what? Good on those guys. I thought it was cool.
Honestly, like my excitement for it built on the drive out there on Sunday afternoon. I was like, okay, yeah, this will be cool. And then listen to a podcast that Don did with everybody and then listen to some stuff that you had done too. And I was like, well, this is going to be awesome. You never see guys like this. You see them at the track, but you never see them riding. It's very rare. The last time I could think that happened was that Ironman Legends race. But this was cool because there was no pressure, there was no fans, there was no putting on airs for anybody. It was just them hanging out. And you can tell that all those guys, all of that rivalry stuff in the past is pretty much dead now.
Yeah.
They just want to hang out with each other. There's some little things here and there, but they're able to joke about it instead of it just being like cutthroat, I got to blow this dude's ankle out as soon as we get to the first turn.
Yeah, I thought that whole fake texting or fake Instagramming and all that, but come on, guys. Like, you don't really give a shit, right? But regardless, they were all trying, except for Pastrana and Glover. Or Pastrana fake fell and like Glover by or what like. That first one I was a little, don't do this, guys. Don't do this.
Yeah.
Outside of that, they were all trying really hard, and it was competitive, and they were close. Michael, did you like it?
I like the Era match races the best, of course. I love the TP and Kevin's one was great to watch. Bradshaw Stan, I'm sure a lot of people loved. If they do it again, of course, I hope they do. I like a lot of the era-based matchups.
like keep the 80
awesome.
guys together, the 1980s guys, keep them together. Keep the 90s guys, that kind of stuff.
Because I like so the trials and that's the first thing when I first heard it was gonna happen. I was looking, I'm like, and that's the first thing that popped in my mind. I'm like, this is gonna get really cheesy on a few of them if it's gonna go the way I think it is.
Yeah.
So I love the match races. Like I think as anybody, I mean, especially somebody in my era. Yeah, they aren't at their prime more, but I didn't get to watch. You can go back and watch the races, but there's something different about watching Bradshaw Stan race right now.
Yeah, for sure. And Anton,
like getting to see it.
It looked like some people. Now, obviously, the undisclosed location was probably closest track to Rob Bidas' house, who put the thing on.
I think like 5 minutes. He said.
Yeah. Don't forget you didn't tag him, Anton. You got in trouble for not tagging the undisclosed location.
That wasn't Bidos, so we're all good there.
No, I know that wasn't Bidos. That was the track run.
What happened?
Like the track owner, I don't know. Like, he just got bummed that we didn't tag the track.
Nobody was supposed to know where the track was.
Yeah, and, like, I'm not mad at the guy. Like, I have no ill will. I mean, hell, I just sent him like a zip file full of photos. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I was pumped on it,
Yeah.
but he got pretty upset, I guess. I don't know. I didn't go there to like cause trouble. Like I was pumped to be there because all Don and I kept saying was like, dude, this track looks so fun.
It did look.
Like,
It did look
wasn't-
fun. Yeah.
Dude, seeing it up close and in person, there
Yeah.
was like a couple sections of it up against that cliff wall, like that big rock wall.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all mulch. That's all mulch. Like,
Yeah,
it didn't
yeah.
seem like there was any real dirt there. The booters looked pretty safe. Like, the whoops
Right.
were safe. All that stuff was cool. That would be a great track to go ride as, like, a vet guy, an intermediate level guy, something like that.
How about that section that Jake almost wheel tap stopped himself?
Travis backflipping a YZ490. I didn't think that was fucking
Oh, that's
possible.
Travis could backflip a freaking
Good
truck.
God. Anton, but the guys were trying, right? Like Bradshaw was fucking on it, man. He was trying.
If you had Stanton on the 450 that was in his trailer, that whole race changes. Like,
Yep.
that whole dynamic changes.
Yep.
And then I don't know, like, I haven't rewatched it on camera yet because it's been such a busy week. Stanton almost didn't bring a whip around one lap, and I was freaking out.
Oh,
I was like,
really?
oh, my God. Oh, yeah. It was sketchy.
Speaking
But, like,
of
that,
whips.
Yeah, that stuff was sick. That was great. The thing about Glover, so he rode this, like, YZ450F that some dealership in the area had
Right.
loaned to him. And he looked good, like, first few laps of the first practice, like, early in the afternoon. And then we look over, and he's on Travis's, like, RM500.
Right.
He looked better on the 500 than he did the 450. It was amazing.
And I think the stuff they auctioned for Road to Recovery was 30 or 40 grand, I was told.
Nice.
So I heard 19,000 buys of the pay-per-view, Anton. I don't know if you heard anything. That's unofficial, of course, but that's my sources tell me.
Yeah, I hadn't heard any of that. I've been so busy, like, I didn't talk to Rob. Don's talked to Rob, and Rob's super pumped on it, and they want to do more in the future.
Yeah.
Because this thing does have legs to it.
Absolutely.
You know, I think once you get out of this COVID-19 crisis and all this stuff, and you can have fans come back, maybe it is only like 1,000 fans, and it is at a random local track that they announced just
Right.
a few days ahead of time. But think about if you got that one-on-one interaction to, like, you know, have that Monday night campfire thing and listen to these guys tell stories and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Oh,
It
do
could
you
be
know
this
what
big round table.
Hey, like talking about for charity, you could auction off the roundtable fire things probably for a pretty good amount of money because
Oh, yeah.
that was my
Oh, yeah.
that part was pretty
Or
cool
you
to
could,
watch.
you know, RV can call you a motherfucker right to your face.
Hey,
It'd be-
my
it'd be
favorite part
great.
is every time somebody cut him off, listen, motherfucker, as he was trying to get their attention.
Well, the microphone was hot, and you could hear RV just dropping f-bombs. Did you guys hear that on the show?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't watch that one.
Oh, yeah. RV is in the background just dropping f-bombs, and I'm like, someone tell him the mic is hot. Like, yeah, just hilarious. But
I think that made it better.
oh, probably.
It was very real.
No shit.
Hey, how about
asshole.
Travis Stanton?
What's that?
The Travis Stan comment or whatever that
Oh,
KW.
yeah. Can we talk about the number 1 jersey, Anton? You were fiercely defending Mike on Twitter.
It's just explanations because you know how things like one small detail
It
gets
doesn't
left
matter. It does. Your explanation was that it was for the Tampa race, but that's just as bad.
I'm just saying what happened. I'm just here to report what happened, the emotion, all the things that go along with that. Yep, that's not me.
Listen, Mike, you're the only guy. You literally raced a professional series last summer. Sipes raced one race, and other than that, no one has raced for years.
What the fuck are you doing?
And you bring a number 1 jersey like as if you're the guy? You have a breathe right on for a 3-lap sprint? Come
I
on.
would honestly not be surprised, though, if Ryan and Lucas had something like a number 1 plate buried in that van somewhere. Like just how their wheels are turning in their head where they like
Listen.
to talk shit, too.
Hey, if it's a talk shit, here's the thing. If RV did it, you would laugh.
No, when
Yeah,
RV
yeah.
had a red background when he was leading the 125 series with no points tabulated, we were busting his balls. We're like, bro, there's no series, there's no points, nobody knows. He's like, I'm undefeated. I'm like, nobody cares. And so we busted his balls on it. Any one of you guys find the Alessi number 1 jersey hilarious?
It was funny, yeah, but I don't think it's that bad. Like RV running the red plate, it's whatever.
Marks?
Yeah, I think it can be funny if it's done in the right jest.
No, stop
But
it.
knowing Alessi, I think he probably did it like 100% serious, which makes it
Yeah.
more cringy.
To Travis's point, the way that I like rationalize, like when Mike does these things, and this isn't like talking bad about Mike, he's the only guy that's actively racing. Every race for him is like a resume for him to send to a team or a race somewhere of like, hey, bring me, I'm still capable of winning. Like, put me on your bike and let's do this.
I like Mike, but that made me laugh. Come on. And I know from people who were there, and I don't know if you know this, Anton, from people who were there, they were not happy.
They were not happy.
They were not
happy.
Okay, thank you. All right, as long as you know that, right. No, it was cool. It was congrats to Bidas and Mike for winning and all that. It was really neat to watch, and I see a potential, like you said, Michael, down the road for more of these things.
It's the idea like the shirt with them here, and I always use this as a quote for pretty much everything. The tournament of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Let's just keep throwing nationals and supercrosses, and that's the only thing we care about is the same old thing. No, I love different events like this. We need something that puts fresh blood in it, and that's, you said, oh, well, people put on different prize money races. No, something totally different like this is absolutely awesome because it reaches out to so many, especially if it's generational, it gives everybody something to share in and entertain them. It's not just the new kids. It's not just the old guys. It's a nice, good mix.
The Monster Cup is old and boring and stupid, okay? I don't know if I can cover it any more than that. Yeah. The fact they want amateurs there means a lame-ass track. If they want 80s there, it means a lame-ass track. It doesn't work anymore, in my opinion. Break out a bracket format of races, the Monster Cup. Perfect.
Race a 250 in one main, race a 450 in the other main.
Whatever. Something.
It's not. It doesn't need to be a traditional race. That's not why it's there.
No, exactly. It doesn't. Yeah, you're not counting for points or any of that. So to me, good on these guys for doing that. That was pretty cool.
What was the money that the show made? Did they put that towards charity or what was that?
No, I don't think so. The money the riders made?
No. For the Moto Fight Club, the $20.
Well, that went to the riders.
That did go to the riders.
Yeah. Oh, and the organizers and everybody else. Yeah, the Road to Recovery thing was all the gear and helmets and all that. So that was 30 or 40 grand, I guess.
Okay, because if it was 19,000 people, that's 380 grand.
I do think, though, but no, I think that Glover and Stanton and a couple other guys being involved in this, there is another charity aspect to it.
Yeah, because isn't there one goggles. Glover's involved with?
Yeah, Glover's kid has cystic fibrosis.
Yep.
So that was his thing. Like that T-shirt, I got to send a photo of Travis doing a backflip to the guy that bought that T-shirt that Travis wore or something. So, like, there's a lot of elements to this. So everybody is supposed to pick a charity to add even more money to. It's not like these guys line their pockets outright with all that money.
Well, listen, I already brought up the 30 or 40K on eBay, so I don't care. Line your pockets. Good job, guys. They all have expenses, too. I mean, I can't believe they got all these guys that drive across the freaking country. I mean, Glover flew, but besides that, everybody drove. So that was pretty crazy.
Hey, what's the official word? What happened to IT?
He had a seizure.
Jesus.
He had a seizure.
He did.
Yeah, and he put that on Instagram.
Yeah, it happened on Tuesday morning, and then Ryan and Jake were late to show up because they had to go to the hospital and hang out with him. But sounds like I think he should be back home by now. He was getting cleared out from the hospital when I was on my way back to Illinois. So I hope he's all good because that did kind of throw a big bummer over the rest of the day. I think that there was probably going to be a nice, fun after party if that crew of guys that was there. But everybody was more concerned about Ivan than they were about, like, tying one on.
Michael Antonovich from Swap Moto Live is on the show, brought to you by VertexPistons.com. Email sales@pivotworks.com for a deal from the folks at Vertex.
Last one before we get off the Fight Club subject.
Oh, yeah.
Each of the three of us, what match race do you want to see next year?
Mike versus the number 1 jersey. No, honestly, Dogger, Bradshaw, I don't know about those two, but Dogger, Wardy, right? Be awesome.
That'd be a good one.
I'm from that era, right? So I know they reached out to Jeremy and Emig.
That's what I was about to say. I want to see great. MC and Emig would be so much fun. They turned them down.
J-Law said no, but I would love to see those guys, more of those guys. But I thought it was really cool either way. Anton, it looked like some locals found out what was going on, though, from some of the camera shots. There were some people there.
Yeah, good for them, though. They did keep their distance. I'm sure anybody that's listening in, the Eastern Ohio, Western Pennsylvania thing, they know this track, Youngstown. It's got some, defining features to it. And so little by little, right before the race happened, you could see some people, hiding in the weeds or whatever. Right. But they kept their distance, so that was cool because – Rob had done his due diligence to make sure that this thing was legit.
Right.
But then at the same time, too, he's like, dude, please don't show up and make this thing like a scene. And everybody stayed far, far away. It's in an industrial park.
Yeah.
So you could keep your distance. It wasn't too bad.
What was the most outrageous or rude or obscene thing that RV did or said?
Just the constant motherfuckers.
Yeah,
I thought
okay.
I thought that was but that was perfectly on point for Ryan.
Yeah,
Nobody
that
made
was on
him
brand.
stop.
Right.
That was all good,
Right,
So that was good. Then me and RV had a nice. I don't think that he really knows all that much about me.
Probably
so then
not. No.
Myrtle then went to tell him that I'm a liberal, which we'll take that however it is. So then me and Ryan had to have a nice heart-to-heart about like what we think. Come to find out, we're way more similar than we first assumed. So all good there.
Right. Oh, that's good. Speaking of
Yeah.
Moto Fight Club, before we move on to the Brayton, Iowa race, which I want to talk about you beating down Darkside in the pit bike race. We'll get to that shortly. Let's welcome in the Pulp MX athlete from the Moto Fight Club, Jake Weimer. What's up, Jake? How are you?
Oh, I'm just hanging out. What's going on?
Well, RV found out that Anton's a liberal, so one time.
Well, I was on pause when I heard that, and I was like, I apparently missed that, but I was like, oh no.
So why didn't we have that part recorded for the show?
One time I was up at his house in Washington doing a story on it, and we started talking about something, and he just was disgusted at some of my views, so he called Grandpa. And he got Grandpa on the speakerphone, and Grandpa starts going in about the slave abolition
Oh yeah.
act
Oh yeah.
of 18.
Not shocked.
And I'm like, this is not going where I want to go right now. We're focusing. Let's focus on this story, RV. Anyways,
Focus.
Jake, I thought it was really cool. Really went off well outside of the Ivan thing that he's talked about on social media. Good job to everybody there at Fight Club.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought it went really well for as quickly as we put it together. And once I got home, I watched a little bit of it back just because I saw some people complaining about audio or one of the camera in the last turn or whatever. And, as quickly as it was put together, and then I don't know about the audio, but as far as the camera in the last turn, I guess after they had ran all the cable, one of the part of the track crew or something went out there to get the track ready for the evening and put the rippers down, and it cut the cable or something. So there's some kind of miscommunication there, but I think for as quickly as it went together and I thought it went really well. I was stoked to do it.
Anton, did you get Jake's crash on film at all? Or on
No, because I was.
Jake's almost crashed. Almost crashed. Sorry.
I didn't crash.
Almost crashed.
I didn't crash.
Yeah.
He didn't crash. I was standing right there because it was a 3-in.
Yeah.
And Jake, respect to you guys because that shows how legit you guys all are still on bikes. That once one guy figured out the fast line, everybody started taking it, and it was one tire track into it. I saw Jake go, "Yer," and I was just like, "Oh shit, here we go." And this is around the same time frame as the Stanton near Wipeout, and I was just like, "Oh God, please, just let's stop this."
Yeah. Well, Blue Crew, when you get on Blue Crew, you get a little buck wild. That happens. The horsepower of Blue Crew.
It's got a lot of power.
It does.
It's got a lot of power.
How was that sinking feeling when the rear tire misses the top?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, though, I've seen it, the video, and it's so crazy. I mean, we've known this. I'm sure you've heard it a million times, but it doesn't feel like what it looks like. It definitely scared me, spooked me a little bit, but the whole loop out part never even crossed my mind. As it was happening. What alarmed me a little bit is then once I framed the tall one, the back wheel started coming up, and I was like, okay, we're good. But it just kept coming, which that part doesn't even look that bad in the video. So what I felt and what the video looks like in my mind, was the opposite. The loop out, I was like, oh yeah, we're good. And
then did you see Randy Richardson put on a bunch of music to overlay it?
Oh my God.
I think I did. What was it? What did he put on top of it?
No,
he just
20 songs. Anything that slightly relates, you could put to looping out.
It was great. Listen, Jake, you ran a Pulp MX title sponsor at Fight Club, and you were eliminated in the first round. Is there some sort of breakdown we can get? Maybe I can get a break on this, or how's this work?
I don't have much. You came after me, so I don't feel terribly bad about it. It was your idea, so
okay. All right.
As far as the actual racing goes, I mean, honestly, some of the funnest time I had with the whole event was when we got to ride a little bit before the race had, or the production had started, whatever you want to call it. But it just out there riding with Travis and Kevin's out there, and like it was so much fun. But like I felt good riding. But once the gate dropped, like I was good, but like I had to make quick decisions, and clearly they weren't the good ones. So I guess to ease your pain, this is your fault. Like you got a hold of me, so I'm sorry.
Fuck 'em.
This says if you know anything about our history of sponsorship with A-Ray and McAdoo, a lot of things haven't worked out for us. So
Yeah, you really know how to pick them, Steve.
yeah. Are you there, Jake?
Yeah, and RJ.
Anton?
Yeah, I'm here.
Jake went missing. Probably hit the mute button. Anton, I was gonna say, like, do you have any photos of him with these graphics? A very rare shot of him riding with the Pulp Mix graphics. Can I get some for
Yeah, I
posterity?
got you.
Okay.
Don't worry.
All right. Okay. Because
So let's go over the history of your sponsorship and how well
I
this
don't
has
want
gone.
to. We don't have enough
RJ
time.
destroys his knee. Weimer goes out first round, almost loops out.
A-Ray-
A-Ray's just a fiasco.
A-Ray's a fiasco at numerous events.
in general.
McAdoo, we did not ram it up anyone's ass at Straight Rhythm.
Oh, man.
Phil, was there a Phil deal in there somewhere?
I don't know. Who do you have helmet stickers else with?
Yeah. Wilbur and I we ended our agreement early because I couldn't bring him the coffee that he wanted.
Well, I mean, that's gone so downhill now he's not even allowed on your
He's
show.
not. No, I know. Weimer's back on. Jake, you there?
Yeah.
Also, I think I saw a thank you post for Fight Club on Instagram, and no mention of Pulp. That's a fine. That'll be deducted. No mention of Pulp Mix helping you get there. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I double checked it.
I mean, I posted photos. I know in one Instagram I thanked you for coming on.
It was a small mention, almost like you were embarrassed.
You come on. You may have to get a lawyer to do the fine print in your deals because they were very, very loose ended.
You know what? I think we may have to take this to a court.
Very simple text. Bro, run sticker, get money. It just shows dollar signs at text.
Right.
That was really close to it, honestly.
I tried to get RV, and at some point RV showed me a mock-up with Pulp MX on the graphics, and I said, "Make it."
I have them. I have them in my possession. Yes, I have those. They were printed.
Oh, he printed them. He actually got them printed.
They sent them to me. They said, because they said, hey, if RV wants to use these, here they are. So I have them.
Well, those are collector's items. They were never used.
You should put those in the auction.
I said to RV, make Pulp MX bigger, and I said, like Jake, same amount of money as Jake, so make them bigger. And then he said no, and then he said, I'm over it.
I don't think
Lucas
he
get
even
involved.
said no, because we were in the group text and he just stopped replying.
I don't know.
It sounds about right. That sounds about right. Jake, who are you? I'll ask both of you this. First up, Anton. What or who were you most surprised at there?
Honestly, Wyndham. Like,
Wyndham?
Wyndham's good.
Oh, my
Wyndham's
God.
good. And, like, Kevin admits, like, he hasn't ridden that much, and it took him no time to throw a ridiculous whip.
That whip
Right.
in front of TP was worth almost $20 in its own right.
Jake, what about you? Who or what were you most surprised with?
Well, I have a long answer. 100% Anton's right. Like, I watched Kevin. It was one of the, I think when he was racing, it was Pastrana. And I was standing next to Ali Seymour, his longtime mechanic and friend, and Kevin whipped it over that jump. And we just all start laughing, like, I mean, like, cheering him on, but we're like, is this guy serious? And I looked at Ali, and I was like, he's such an asshole. And Ali laughs, and I'm like, some of us had to try.
Right.
And we got to laugh. But, yeah, Kevin for sure. Pastrana, I mean, I've seen people do backflips, and he's done much more than that. But the way they set up the ramp, like, in person, he was going so high. Like, it wasn't just a normal ramp.
Yeah.
And I, like, to watch him flip it, and I was just like, dude, and then even to talk to him, which I've been around him a little bit, but very little. And we're talking about, like, oh, yeah, 50-50 chance, and he still goes for it anyway. And, like, I had a conversation with my buddy that went with me, and I'm like, I don't know that it's any point in my life when I had 50-50 odds that I went for it. Like
right.
my mind just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, those two stood out to me. And then all of the whatever you want to call it, the older generation, Bradshaw, Stanton, Glover, I'd never seen Glover ride. And honestly, all three of those guys, I was like, wow, like I think I made a post on Instagram talking about it a little bit, but like that was cool to me because it was like I still am a fan and I like ride my motorcycle. It's a lot of fun to me, and to watch those guys be able to do it how they were, I was just like, this is awesome because I might be able to do this for quite a bit longer. So
Glover's 60. I think Glover just turned 60.
Those guys crushed it.
Yeah, Glover just turned 60. I thought he was really good. Yeah, for sure.
It was crazy, and Anton was there, but like the jumps weren't that like big, but they were really tall.
Okay.
And like really tall. So I was like, for Glover to be hitting those things, like, and like, thought that was really cool.
Right. Yeah, it was neat. It was cool. It was a cool event. All right, Jake, we'll let you go. I just want to check in. My lawyers will be in touch about our deal.
Yeah.
So, you know. Oh, what's that?
Oh, no,
all right.
Jake.
Let me know.
All right. Thanks, Jake.
Okay.
Go fucking Jake Weimer. What a fucking legend.
Anton, so what was this pit bike race with Darkside where you just beat him down?
Okay, so
Dude, Anton rails on a pit bike. I'll just cut in and say
I'm
that.
decent on a pit bike.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
ain't
He
bad.
rails on a pit bike.
So I had known I was going to go to this race for a while. I had been like talking it up because a bunch of friends were going and stuff like that. But then with this whole like Supercross and whatever deal, I told my wife, I was like, hey, dude, I ain't going to take gear because if I take gear, like then I'm going to be thinking I need to ride, and I don't need to ride and get hurt and then not be able to maybe go to Utah. I haven't ridden since October, so I was like, we just won't take anything. And so we just took my cameras and stuff like that. We get there just in time for this pit bike race, and she knows how I am with pit bikes. Like little by little, I'll start like kind of weaseling my way in, and I had zero intention to do it this time. Like I was like, I'm good. And then Darkside looks over at me. He's like, hey, do you want to do a grudge race? I was like, say less, I'm on.
Yeah.
So then we kind of hustled to find helmets, and my friend Jeff was going to give me his helmet, but he's an extra large, so that doesn't work. So then shout out to Bob Lowry, who got me a fly helmet and then got Darkside one, and then we went for it.
Yeah.
JB let me ride his Honda 110, which is so nice. Like, it's such a bitchin' little bike.
Right.
And he wanted me to use a Shoei, and I thought that was just way too much, was using Brayton's like helmet. So, yeah, we started going. Tony has a really cool little track at Riverside Raceway. So it has like an over-under bridge and things like that. So Darkside would get me on the start, and then pretty much by the time we would hit the bridge, I would go for something. The last gnarliest two races, they made me start backwards. And so then they'd snap the rubber band, like the old school rubber band, and then Darkside would take off, and then I had to like pivot. So he beat me on the first one. And then the second one, I was like, dude, I can't like get beat on this time.
Yeah.
So we went into that last section, and I had like what I thought was going to be a pass in the turn before that, and I didn't get to make it. So when he went wide through the last turn, I checked up and then dove inside. And it was good.
Beautiful.
Like, it was clean. It was clean.
Yeah.
You know, there was no contact or anything like that. I just put him over the berm. I've watched enough fast guys, so I know what to do.
His pony didn't get in the way? Like it didn't hit you or wave in front of you or distract you?
Bro, that thing is impressive because he had to unwind it to put the helmet and all that on to like
yeah. Just his mane, right?
Dude.
Wow.
Yeah, that was big. So
that was big.
So he didn't cut that off and put that up as part of the auction?
Yeah, he should have.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was fun. That was a good time. People were pumped, too, because there's this guy named Ryan that lives in Des Moines up there. And his whole bit is these pull start mini bikes, like those like taco-style mini bikes or those like whatever. Bro, there were at least like 70 people racing pull start mini bikes around this track.
Like from the 70s almost, right? Like the very
Bro,
first
straight up. Like they go to Harbor Freight, they buy the Predator engine, and then they hop them all up with like go-kart racing parts. And they are really fast pull start mini bikes.
Oh, wow. That's cool. And so Bradshaw was out there for that one too.
I didn't see him on the mini bike thing.
Oh, but the Brayton thing, he was out there.
Oh, yeah. And that was cool because me and Damon spent like 20 minutes in his rental car yesterday talking about everything. And that was a good time.
Yeah.
Bradshaw's rad.
Yeah.
You know, Bradshaw's before my time, my like most first Bradshaw memory is when he came back to do arena cross in like
Right.
the early 2000s.
Right.
So I don't know the whole Beast from the East legacy like as well as you do, but then I've read everything, so I'm very familiar with like Damon's history.
He's a legend.
And the one thing I'll never ask Damon, like, hey, could you take me through the Coliseum, because I would hate to ask him to like die 1,000 deaths again to relive it. I'm so tired of hearing about it. But yeah, Damon's cool. Even in Iowa, dude, like he was just pumped. He rode all day Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and it sounded like a good event. Sound like a lot of fun. A lot of riders there too, I heard.
1,400 entries across 2 days.
Yep.
As far as like total class entries go. A lot of money, full gates in most classes. I mean, full gates in all the pro classes.
Our guy Checkers from Race Tech raced.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
hey, you know what? He looks good on a bike. Like, I know that Chris goes really well on a bike.
Yeah.
But then he got out there and I started watching him Sunday. He looks really, really good on a bike. So shout out to Chris, because he styles on a 450 really well.
I told Checkers if he could qualify for Loretta's next year, I'll take the semi to Loretta's for him.
Oh wow, it's pretty big.
I don't think he'll choke like a certain other person we know that when you bring a semi to a
semi
race.
out. Yeah, there was another person we know that felt a little pressure at some nationals with the semi. No, it sounded like fun, Anton. You covered some races.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to be back. Like, it's good to see everybody, because there's a lot of guys right now that are going to have to get creative with how they make money. You know, Marshall Welton's whole deal is if the border opens so he can go back to Canada.
Yeah.
A guy like Curran Thurman went down to Texas this weekend, made pretty good amount of cash down there. John Short, guys like that. So there could be a lot of interest in these big money races all summer, and that could be a cool thing for a lot of independent guys to follow.
Right.
Yeah, the racing, I mean, so far these first couple of races that popped up, I've heard the turnouts have been fantastic. I'm sure as plenty of people have been hearing, like, not every sector of our industry is doing great, but certain areas, bike sales, like play bikes, pit bikes are doing well, certain stuff like that. I mean, if people are getting into those now, I mean, hopefully the bright side to look at down the road is these people are going to start racing more. They've missed it. They're getting bikes. Eventually they're going to have to buy gear and helmets to replace stuff. So it's like, of all the odd things that could have happened, if this sets off some good little renaissance, I mean.
Yeah, Yamaha told me the pit bike stuff's going really well for them, dealership-wise.
I heard there is not a single CRF 110 left in Honda's warehouse, and people are driving like to other states, buying them, bringing back some California, because no dealers here have had them for like weeks on end.
Can you imagine if this whole thing started some sort of thing where off-road riding dirt bikes became cool again? Like in the 70s and 80s or whatever. Can you imagine?
I think that we might see that. In a roundabout way, I think like little by little stuff's going to kind of flip the switch a bit.
Right.
I think the coolest thing, though, and I did a podcast with my friend Jeff that's on Swap Moto Live, so if anybody wants to listen to this, you can check that out. I'm seeing a lot of like 25 to 35-year-old guys like getting back into riding. Guys that maybe were like good mini bike prodigies or like local fast guys that went away for a while. Mm-hmm. They're getting back into it now. And that's a cool thing, because if they're riding or their kids are riding or something, like they're restocking that talent pool or just the industry. Like, they're buying gear, they're buying bikes, whatever. Yeah. I think, too, like, we, on that Supercross note, we're going to have 2 races a week on, primetime television. I think that's really going to drum up a lot of interest if it's done the right way.
Yeah, it should be good. Are you looking forward to spending a month in Utah?
Yeah, I'm waiting on this email to tell me if I get to go or not, so I'm not going to.
I heard Swap Moto Live was not allowed. That's what I heard.
Yeah. I already told Megan that if I'm not allowed to go, we're buying a pity present. So I'm going to buy one of those Yamaha 110s and I'm going to buy a YZ 125. So we'll do something. But I think the whole industry is going to do pretty good from this. Like, it sucks that so many people have lost their jobs and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And we're kind of only getting to the start of this. Like, 7 Supercross races doesn't mean the pro racing side of it's out of the woods yet by any means, but it could be good for like the dealers and stuff. There's a lot. It's hard to find certain bikes even back here too.
I'll say one more thing about the match race. Who can we put Matt Walker up against?
Everybody.
Yeah, really, yeah. Everybody, right? That works.
Sure.
All right, Anton. Well, hey, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. Good job covering everything. I was following it along. So, Justin Brayton's Iowa race and the Fight Club thing, and we'll see you in SLC, bro. Thanks, man.
Sounds good. I'll send you those photos of Weimer too.
Yes, please do. Thank you. I need them for legal evidence.
Reasons before the proceedings.
I mean, it's not like he didn't try, man. That Pope logo was big as hell on
It was.
Hey,
I know, yeah.
You think you didn't get your money's worth? Do you know how many freaking views him almost looping out had on Instagram?
That's a good point. Yeah.
That Pope logo is very visible.
Right.
Because he's off the back of the bike. It's nice and visible as it's going to the sky.
It's a great point. Thanks, Anton. Talk to you soon, man.
Later, boys.
All right, that's Michael Antonovich from Swap Moto Live. We give away an Art of Sport kit. We're going to give away an Art of Sport kit later on the show, but